Hey everyone, welcome to another Adventures Out video, and I'm here at the River Weaver. I'm on a bit of a mini break in Cheshire with my wife in our caravan, and I've come to see if I can get on the river here, and hopefully we can. I read on Paddle UK that there were some launch points here, so let's go see what we can find. There's a pontoon that actually looks like over here might be our best bet. So I may move the van over to this side. It's a bit breezy, there's a few clouds around, but there's quite a lot of sunshine as well, and according to the weather forecast the breeze is meant to be at its highest around now and then drop towards the afternoon. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to head south, which is I think both against the flow of the river and against the wind, and then turn around and come back. I'm not out for very long, maybe an hour. Just want to get out somewhere while I'm away in my caravan. And yeah, this looks like a really nice little river actually, included as part of the waterways license, so which I have, so no problems there. There is a lock up towards the north, not too far I don't think, and I think that's probably as far as I'll go northwise, and then I think there's a town down the south there. We're going to have a look in and see if there's anywhere maybe to stop for a beer or something. But first of all, I'm going to move my van to the other side. Just going to make sure that this bridge will take its weight. I think it will. And the bridge didn't collapse, always a bonus. let's get the boat set up and get in the water. You've seen the setup before. The only thing is, this is the first time out with my NRG battery powered sub pump. If you haven't seen that video of my review of that pump, then check out the card in the top corner there, and that will take you to that video. And otherwise, I'll catch you when I'm on the water. Well, hopefully you can hear me. I've just stopped to change the GoPro battery. I decided on trying a rear mounted GoPro looking forward, so you can see the top of my head, front of the boat hopefully, and where I'm going. The ultimate plan would be to essentially get another GoPro that's filming me, so when I'm talking to you, you can see my face. And what I'd probably do is look to put a 360 camera maybe on the rear mount. Now, I've been umming and ahhing about a 360 camera for a while now. Basically, any sort of camera gear I buy has to be useful for my snooker channel, because it's the snooker channel that essentially makes money and pays for my camera gear. So it really needs to be useful for a camera gear. So it really needs to be useful for the snooker channel. And yeah, I can see it being a little bit useful, the odd quirky shot, but not hugely useful. So not sure what to do. And also the other thing is, I've kind of bought into the GoPro subscription now, and I've got a lot of footage on the cloud. So for those of you who don't know, if you've got a premium subscription to GoPro, you get unlimited cloud storage of footage footage recorded with a GoPro camera. You get a certain amount of storage for footage and images recorded with a non-GoPro camera, but it's not much really, 100 meg or something like that, maybe less, maybe more, but it's unlimited for GoPro. So the obvious choice for a 360 camera would be obviously an Insta360. I think they are probably the better cameras, but if I went for the GoPro, which I think it's the GoPro Max, whilst it's not as good a camera, I think it would count towards being filmed with a GoPro, so it would count towards my unlimited cloud storage. So I'm not using up hard disks at home, and for the little I want to use it for, like I'm not using it for, you know, snowboarding or kite surfing or anything like adventurous like that, just a slow steady kayak like this, maybe the odd quirky snooker shot, then I think it would be fine. And they have just updated the software on the GoPro, so I think they are starting to keep up a little bit with Insta360. So yeah, so I might look into that over the next few weeks. That might be, because I was thinking about getting a better drone than the one I've got, but I think a better choice would be a 360 camera. Because at the moment, if I want to film you, I want to film myself talking to you, I've got to use my phone, which it's good, it's fine, gets good video, but, and I've got it in a waterproof case, like a hard case. Well, it's semi-waterproof. The phone is semi-waterproof as well, but it's not tethered. I thought this case had a loop so you could put a tether to it, but it doesn't, so I need to think again, but I'm still using it. So I'm just stuffing it in my pocket when I'm not using it, in my PFD pocket. So yeah, so I need to think of something else for when I want to talk to you with facing the camera. Don't know if you can see that there's a little terrapin sat on the branch there. It's actually not that little, it's pretty big. Unfortunately, a lot of terrapins get bought at pet shops, and then people don't want to look after them, so they just let them go thinking they won't survive. But they do survive, and they actually thrive, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. I did look at thinking about stopping at that pub there, but I'm never going to get out on that dock there. So I'm going to head in town a little bit more, and then I'm probably going to turn around and head back. Sorry? I was thinking about it, but I'll never get out of there. Hello. Well, I've reached the town of Winsford, and this is my turnaround point, so I'm going to head back towards where the van is, and I'm going to see what time it is, and then if I've got a bit of time I might head a little bit further past the van and try and get to the lock north of where my van's parked. So let's go. We're motoring along now, wind behind us. There's not much flow to this river, but what little flow there is in our direction. I can pretty much stop paddling now, just coast all the way back to the van. It's beautiful. Sure, could have been nice and sunny. I mean, it's definitely sunny in places. The wind could have been slightly less. I would have preferred no wind at all compared to headwind out and a tailwind back, but you know, if I waited around for the perfect weather to go out on my kayak, I'd go out like twice a year, and it would only be on the River Severn because I'd always be at home. So I'm really glad I came out today. Yesterday probably would have been a better day, but a bit pushed for time yesterday because we went to see went to a festival in Blakemere Forest, went to see my wife's favourite band, which is Snow Patrol. I like them, I kind of like them as well. It's probably got the most amount of songs that I can listen to of any band, I think, but you know, I'm not the world's biggest music aficionado, so but it was a good set. I would say it was probably, as somebody who doesn't listen to Snow Patrol on the regular apart from their singles, there was probably 2/3 of the songs that I knew and liked. It was a pretty good festival. We had VIP tickets, still got my VIP wristband on. So it was a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit quieter, and the facilities were a little better in our side, in our part. You know, the toilets were really good. Food vans were pretty good. We had our own bar. There was a VIP only bar, which was still pretty busy, but it was good. But even so, on our side, there was some very drunk people, and it kind of reminded me why I'm not a big fan of festivals. I don't like particularly being around drunk people. I mean, I'd been drinking myself, but I had maybe 4 drinks, which over the course of the day is not really much. And then, you know, we cycled as well, which was great, you know, rather than having to fight our way out in the car park. But actually, we still had to sit behind traffic really to get out on our bikes. We couldn't really walk. We couldn't really ride the bikes out of where we'd locked them up because there was lots of foot traffic trying to get back to the car parks through the forest. So it was, you know, and they were all pretty drunk and they didn't really care about bikes and stuff. So we just walked with them. And then when we got to the road, obviously loads of cars coming out the car parks. So we ended up having to sort of just filter in with the traffic, which meant, you know, it probably would have been as quick to drive, but then, you know, we wouldn't have been able to have a drink. Not that my wife drinks, but she also doesn't drive my van, so not that she can't drive my van, she just won't. Have some water. No other traffic on the on this river. Looks like there could be, and maybe should be. Lots of ducks. Oh, tailwind. Just push me along. Put my sails out. Use my paddles as sails. There we go, it's pushing us along. Not very quickly, but big black cloud above us as if we might get some rain. But that's okay. It just means I might have to put my camera away. Made a bit of a faux pas coming away this weekend in that I still got the GoPro media mod attached to my camera from filming snooker, which the media mod is great because you get better microphones and you get more connectivity, but it loses its water resistance, and you basically got to take the battery door off to fit it. And unfortunately, I left the battery door on my desk back at home, so I've left the media mod on. I'm going to hope that it's basically splash proof, but I just really need to be careful because if it goes in the water, then it's probably the end of the camera and the media mod, which it's in itself is I think £70. So I'm also trying out a new method of audio. So I've got a microphone attached to my shirt underneath my PFD, which I would rather not get wet because it will break if it gets wet, but it's maybe 20, 25, 30 pounds to replace. And that's wireless to a little sort of dictaphone that I've got in a dry bag, connected to its wireless receiver, the microphone's wireless receiver, and recording the audio completely separately. So might be a bit of a fiddle to match them up because I forgot to do claps and stuff like that. To do, you do the, see on movies where they do the clapperboard to do the claps to match up camera, audio and feed and video. Should have done that to match up the audio for the camera and the dictaphone, but I forgot, so I'm going to have to do it. I'm hoping that the GoPro, because it's got the media mod on and the better microphones attached, it's actually picking up pretty good audio on its own. So maybe I don't need the external recorder, but hopefully it's picking up good enough audio that I can essentially just match it from the audio pattern itself and not just a clap at the beginning. I might do a clap at the end. I think it might be a bit too windy for the drone, but what I'm going to do is head back to the van, see what time it is, and if we've got a bit of time then I might mess about with some drone footage. I guess I should tell you a little bit about where we're staying. So I brought my touring caravan to a place called Blakemere Touring Park, which is next to Blakemere Village, and that is a really nice sort of craft and antique sort of little sort of retail village. There's a little microbrewery, there's a little fun fair, there's like a little outdoor place with like falconry and stuff like that, birds of prey. We went round the birds of prey centre this morning. It's really cool. I do like a bird. I've got my bird at home, but I do quite like a bird of prey as well. So we had a look around there. There's lots of really cool owls and vultures and eagles. Yeah, they were really cool. And it was only £4 to look around. Well worth it. Hopefully tonight we're going to go to Blakemere Village Social, which I think is like they put like a marquee up, or they have almost like a permanent marquee up somewhere, and then you can order you know, you can take beer or wine, or there is like a bar there. You can also order, there's like a few food vans that turn up and you can order pizzas, you know, wood-fired pizzas and all that kind of stuff to your table, loaded fries, etc. So I think hopefully we're gonna have a look at that. If not, we'll probably just chill out at the caravan, but hopefully we'll get out to Blakemere Village. And then the campsite itself, yeah, Blakemere Touring Park is the campsite itself we're staying on. It's an independent campsite, so it's not part of one of the big clubs, and it's really nice actually. The facilities are really clean, pretty modern looking, pretty modern without being clinical, if you know what that means, and or rather if you know what I mean by that. It's really well kept, the grass is nice and short and the gravel is nice and clean, it drains pretty well, everything works, you know, the pitch, it's got a fully serviced pitch, so that means it comes with electric, a water supply and drainage, everything works nicely. Pitches are a good size, so I can get my caravan and my awning on side by side, and then the van sort of parks at front. I'm not a big fan of parking the van at front because it blocks the windows, but the other option was to put it in the car park, which, you know, I could do, but quite like the van close by. So yeah, I'll definitely be coming back here. The sort of Forest Live gig that we went to, I think they do one every year, and with different acts obviously. Like I think there's more acts on tonight and Sunday night. So yeah, definitely have a look next year, see who's on, and maybe come for another night. Maybe we won't bike this next time. Maybe we'll take the car or figure out, I think there was some short buses, which we maybe could have worked out. So yeah, I think we'll come back. And this little river, a bit of river, pretty nice as well. I mean, it's got a tailwind now, I'm getting pushed along really nicely. I'm not actually far from where I started, I don't think, another 10 minutes. Okay, I'm approaching the bridge where I started and parked the van. So, what time are we on? It's only 3:05, and I told my wife I would be back about 4, so I've got about another half an hour on the water, I'd say. Maybe 20 minutes, so I might paddle past the bridge and see what I can see. But I'm going to do a quick stop to change the GoPro battery for the last time, and then we'll get going again. Hello, it's me. If I come and get you, will you come back with me and help me find my drone?